Hello, everyone. Welcome to Southeast Iowa Union's Prep Sports Plus, and the NCAA tournament is dead, and it's never going to be the same. But we're not going to talk about that yet. We're going to talk a little high school sports. We got me, Andy. We got Hunter. We got Peter, and can't help but there's a red building somewhere that if it wasn't for them, we might not be here today. You got any thoughts on that, Hunter?
Seems familiar. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's Chick-fil-A. Oh wait, Fairway Food Stores.
Yeah, it's Fairway Food Stores. I was gonna say Chick-fil-A too, but no, they haven't rode with us. They haven't been riding with us at all. Fairway Food Stores has been riding as our title sponsor for like 2 years now, and every single ad you're gonna see scrolling across the screen, they are with us. So they are part of the Southeast Iowa Union's Union. Not sure if you're familiar with the Civil War, but who won it? The Union. We're basically winning the Civil War against all other podcasts, and that's thanks to Fairway and all the other sponsors of the show. And we're going to talk a little soccer, and why don't we go ahead and I'm just going to get it out of the way, Hunter. I got to get something out of the way.
Do it.
We got me here. We got Peter on the ones and twos. A few of you watching know about this. Peter and I are exhausted. And the reason is because we went to the marathon at Washington Wellness Park last night. Washington Demons hosted Columbus WMU in the Highway 92 rivalry. And what seemed like just an ordinary windy and rainy day at the park ended up about a 5-hour broadcast on Southeast Iowa Union Live because of lightning delays. And we saw a couple of pretty solid soccer games, the first soccer games of the year. Girls game, it was a rematch of a 1-0 Washington win last year in the regionals, although I say rematch loosely because with a lot of our soccer teams, there are a lot of seniors last year, both ways, a lot of newbies both ways, but it was the Washington Demon girls who knock off Columbus 2-0. We had a defensive start to the game, and then we had a couple of goals, a couple of very exciting goals for the Demon girls. We had one from Ashley Ramirez where she popped one in off of a rebound to make it 1-0, and then Jocelyn Carter came out of nowhere I think Ashley Ramirez also came out of nowhere. I think the rebound was a near miss. Both of them score a goal, now leading the Demons with 1 goal apiece because they don't have any many returners with goals. Coming into that game, tough loss for Columbus WMU. It was a nice back and forth battle, but the Demons take the girls' game, and then in the boys' game, we saw everything that you can see in a soccer game. Started out immediate. Boom, bam. Washington gets a quick goal. Kevin Marcelino wasted no time in putting one in the back of the net. It was 1-0 Washington. And it was a very excited 1-0. There were chances both ways. I'd say Washington had the majority of the chances until with 14 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the first half, a lightning strike changed everything. And we sat there and we sat out a lightning delay for what felt like forever. But finally, in the dead of night, they set a 9 p.m. That was the latest they'd start is 9 p.m. I think we started at like 8:20 or something like that, Peter. 8:25 maybe. We started the game with 14 minutes left in the first half. And what ensued was an immediate goal from Columbus to make it 1-1. It was 1-1 at halftime. Demons scored once in the second half, and 2 goals in less than a minute for the Columbus Wildcats end up sinking the Demons. A 3-2 win for the Columbus boys in the Highway 92 rivalry. That was also the first time those two teams had played since a 7-0 shutout victory for Washington in 2023. So a little back and forth. Check this out. They've been playing, pretty much every year, but since 2018, 2018, Washington wins. 2019, Columbus. 21, Washington. 22, Columbus. 23, Washington. 25, Columbus. Back and forth. Back and forth like you're driving back and forth on Highway 92. So, yeah, we saw some exciting ones over in Washington. And Mr. Hunter was at some soccer as well. Oh, Mr. Hunter has a dark screen. And I don't know what's going on. I looked at my friend Hunter, my colleague, my partner in crime, and I just see a dark screen. Peter, if you're out there, you should tell me if you can hear me. It's all Hunter. He's gone. Look at him. Look at our boy. Someone play some soft piano music. Well, while we wait to see, to solve the mystery of what happened to Hunter Muller, who maybe someone just turned off the lights and unplugged his microphone so he couldn't hear that his turn to talk.
All right, I sorry, you're going to have to cut that out. I just switched my my internet. I don't know if I must have been on my end, like lagging.
Keep it in. We rolled right through it, Hunter. Don't worry. Don't worry.
The last thing I heard you say was, Hunter, you were at a soccer game last night.
Well, you were at a soccer game last night, so I know we filled that time. So it's time for Mr. Hunter to talk about the soccer game, a very successful soccer game for one of our schools. Tell me about it.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant was a home first game of the season, taking on Danville. As you mentioned, pretty successful night for the Panthers in the season opener. 10-0 shutout victory for Mount Pleasant. Pretty much scored early and often. Through the first 8 minutes, put a couple goals on the board. Really only extended it there from the to the end of the first half. They led 7-0 through that. By the end of that span, Dylan White, Cohen Cass, Jonah Zimmer, Akbar Wilson, and Aiden Humble all scored in the first half. Wilson also notched a pair of assists through that period as well. He's going to be a great player. Someone I don't remember seeing last year, but great on ball, kicks it really hard, and pretty skilled. So watch out for Akbar Wilson this year. He's going to be good. And then pretty much in the second, Mount Pleasant continued to kind of do what they did in the first half. Got the 3 goals. Obviously, in high school soccer, you get the 10 goals. That pretty much seals the deal. And they got those 3 goals to get to 10, and left a little early after getting to the 10th goal there. So, big game for Mount Pleasant. They're going to be pretty good this year. White, Cass, and Zimmer all had 2 goals for the Panthers in the game. Mentioned Wilson having 1 with the pair of assists as well. And then let's see here. God else who scored here. Oops, I'm on the wrong. And then Brandon Laws also scored for the Panthers as well. So,
big start for the Panthers.
Great showing for first game of the season.
I agree with you. I think Mount Pleasant is. I think we're going to see some good soccer at East Lake Park in Mount Pleasant this year. I think the Panther boys will be one of the SEC favorites after a couple of. They've been kind of one of the teams climbing through the ranks. They had a few games last year where they were close, specifically against Washington, who was the conference champion. They had a couple of just knockdown, drag-out games with the Demons last year. So I think that given how much Mount Pleasant brings back, they'll be pretty solid. No Fairfield games. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say their defense looked really good too. I mean, Zachary LeBlanc is obviously back in goal for the Panthers, and really he wasn't tested really too much. I think the Mount Pleasant had a pretty, was pretty. I guess it was pretty. Obviously the offense showed, but I mean the defense obviously sets that up. So they looked very good on both sides of the field there.
We had no Fairfield Trojan soccer. We did have a Mount Pleasant girls soccer. I don't see the goal scorer yet. Yeah. Do you have that, or you want me to say it? I mean, it's a pretty.
No, I don't have it. I was just going to say that it ended in a 1-1 draw, and
that's all I know about.
Basically, all I was going to say.
They played at Mediapolis, 1-1 draw. By the way, breaking news: what we learned last night. Soccer can end in a draw this year, even in conference play.
Really?
So don't be thinking you're going to see any overtime in soccer this year. Hey, if there's one thing that soccer needed, there was not enough draws in the game of soccer. We need to add a few more. So, but obviously Hunter and I are thankful because that means we know exactly when that game is going to end and we're going to be able to run to the track or the tennis meet or whatever.
Hey, quick question. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. So you got to Washington at 4:30 and didn't leave until 9 something?
Oh, no, we left at about 10.
So you got there at 4:30 and didn't leave until about 10?
Yeah, I was probably leaving town about 10:15 because I also went to McDonald's and got gas. And McDonald's was packed because there was, everybody went there because that was the only place you could go. But yeah, because the lightning delay was so late, and
I'm surprised.
It's funny because if you watch back on Southeast Iowa Live during the lightning delay, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's gonna do it here at Washington Wellness Park. And then, but I mean, it's a rivalry. They didn't get a play last year. And the forecast did say it's not gonna storm very much after a few minutes. And I think it stormed a little more than people thought. And so they set a time. They're like, all right, we're not starting later than 9 o'clock. And so if there's a lightning strike, 8:30 and beyond. But then by the time I got to 8:15, you could look at the sky and you'd be like, there's obviously not going to be any more lightning. So they jumped right into it. And then we flirted with I thought we were flirting with overtime, but then that's how I learned about that everyone is drawing this year. So there we go. But yeah, I mean, it was,
you guys,
at least they weren't blowout games. They were good games. But it was rainy. It was wet. It was wild. And everyone and Peter and producer Peter and publisher Matt and I were chatting about how I was like, well, this is actually good because we spent so long at the soccer game, and we know that the other soccer games aren't going to go that long. So now it's like going to be a little treat.
Right.
Got another broadcast on Thursday. Just a girls' game. That's also the only doubleheader for Washington. And there's not very many doubleheaders in soccer, and so that's a rarity that we're just stuck. And with you and me, Hunter, we run around to all sorts of different sports. Right. Actually, you know what? Why don't we jump into? I was gonna do track next. Why don't we before the commercial? Why don't we? You went to a little tennis yesterday too, right?
No, there was no tennis.
No, there wasn't. Oh, because of the duh.
No, they were just. No, they didn't even have a competition. They were just practicing. When I got there, they were just practicing.
Oh, why did I think there was tennis yesterday? I'm looking at the schedule right now. There's no tennis on the thing.
Yeah, I got there, and then they were just practicing, and I looked at the schedule, and I was like, "Oh, Andy must have read something different."
Yeah, I did read something wrong. I'm literally looking at it right now, and there's no mention. I was kind of wondering when I saw it. I was like, "Oh, I didn't think tennis started until later this week, or even next week." And you're right. Well, no tennis. Up. We might as well go to. Oh, tennis starts on Thursday.
Yes,
That's
sir.
where I thought. Oh my goodness! Look at this schedule on Thursday. Golf is just scrimmaging, which isn't too much different than practice. But then we got soccer, we got tennis, we got track. So, yeah, you're right. You're right that there was no tennis. So you know what? We're going to go to break because that means the only high school sport we have left to talk about is track. So we're going to get our ducks in a row to talk a little trackety trackerson. And we'll be back.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics, providing quality health care that puts you first. Whether during a hospital stay, seeing a primary care provider for wellness exams or sick visits, minor surgery to a total joint replacement, or recovering from an injury, we're here when you need us.
More than you expect for your health care. Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
Breaking news.
Are you looking for a sports show with intensity?
And we'll see you in court, Mark Cuban, you broke bum.
Are you looking for a sports show with passion.
Moment of silence for the name Wells Fargo Arena.
And are you looking for a sports show with whatever this is?
And today we are counting down Justin Bieber's top 10 girlfriends. That's right.
Make sure to check out Andy and Hunter every Thursday on Prep Sports Plus, breaking down all the high school sports from across the Southeast Iowa region, talking about all your favorite schools such as Washington, Mount Pleasant, Fairfield, Waco, Winfield Mount Union, Pekin, and so much more. Make sure to check out Prep Sports Plus every Thursday at noon on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page.
Hello. Welcome back to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk Live. You see our new commercial? It's pretty fancy. We're here, powered by Fairway, powered by our sponsors, powered by us, powered by you, powered by the world. And we're going to talk a little high school track. And I was at a little high school track, Hunter. I was there on Thursday night at Washington's Case Field. I almost said Washington High School, but Case Field is not at Washington High School. And it was the Steve Roth Relays, and the Demons were hosting a lot of boys track teams from the area. So many that they had to start this thing at 2:30, and it was that was a late one too. They had the Class A, Class B, Class C. They'd have they'd be like, all right, time for the 200-meter dash. This is heat 1 of 45. Because they had so many teams, not 45, but I'm sorry. Anyway, boys track teams. Columbus takes the C championship with 172 points. Fairfield takes the B championship with 119. Actually, Mount Pleasant and Washington were in a bind here because they were in Class A, which was just a lot of 5A teams. But, that's how it works. Sometimes you cut it off by however many teams. But we're going to go through some of the winners. First off, for Fairfield, winning that B class, they won 7 events. Relays 4x2, 4x4 both win. Shuttle hurdle wins. So that's 3 relay wins. Gabe Tejada wins the 800. Dylan Adam wins the 400 hurdles. And the Trojans win both of the jumps. Get used to that. You're probably already used to that from last year, but Fairfield winning jumping events. Eli Zillman won the long jump, and Ryan Giberson won the high jump. Good picture, not to toot my own horn, of Ryan Giberson clearing the winning high jump that leads that story. Those two are, tell you what, did we talk about this I'm not sure if we talked about this last week, but Fairfield boys, maybe I talked about it on Round Guy Radio, but Fairfield boys, they have 2 potential state champions or Drake champions, two kids that could literally win anything with Zillman and Giberson. And then the other day they were at one of their earlier indoor meets, and neither of them were jumping high jump. And Fairfield still won because Usman Sane won. So even when they don't have their 2 big guys, they'll just win the high jump. Columbus wins 7 as well. Alexander Reese wins the 200. Actually, this might be 8. I might have mistyped that. Lando Garza wins the 400-meter dash. Lamar Ciant wins the 100 hurdles. Cade Storm wins the 400 hurdles. The 4x1 team and shuttle hurdle team both win. Ty Muniz wins the 3200. Got a picture of him. And there was 8 because Riley Kalberg won the long jump for Class C. So there we go. Big wins for Columbus. We also had a few more in Class C. Waco Warriors, Jude Dykstra in the 1600. Waco Sprint Medley, Waco Distance Medley all win. Winfield Mount Union's Cooper Buffington wins the shot put. Kyoto's Aiden Galindo wins the high jump. And as I said, Washington and Mount Pleasant were in Class A, so they didn't have any winners. Got a couple pictures of them in there, but it was tough sledding with the kind of teams they had to compete against. So we'll have a more local here on Thursday. We'll have Mount Pleasant will host a boy and girl event. I believe that is the Denny White Relays. And that'll have a lot of local teams, not as many. There's a couple big schools there, but not as many schools where, like in the Steve Roth, they had, Cedar Rapids, Jefferson, and Iowa City High, and all those guys. So, Prairie. Hunter, you got a few results coming in from West Burlington. These are just the last couple of days, both the boys and girls. So read whatever you got over there, and then we'll go on.
Yeah, I'm just going to go through. We just have the the girls right now. We got to find the boys being a little on the athletics being a little wonky on trying to find those results.
It is. I couldn't find them either, but I'll look.
But on the girls' side, don't have any team scores on their sheet, which is kind of surprising. But nevertheless, Falcon Relay is hosted at West Burlington, obviously on Tuesday. There was an A and B group, obviously the bigger classes for A, Burlington, Washington, Mount Pleasant, pretty much Southeast, a lot of the Southeast Conference teams there, and then the smaller schools being, Pekin, Danville, and West Burlington in those groups there. But just going to run through the winners. Washington, pretty good day for them and Mount Pleasant in the A group. Let's run through here. 200-meter dash winner was Washington sophomore Jaden Moore. She also got second in the 100-meter, so look out for her. She's a pretty good sprinter for the Demons there. 400-meter dash, Jaslyn Villa from Washington, a freshman, as well as Lauren Droda of Washington, go 1 and 2 in the 400-meter. In the 800-meter run, another back-to-back 1 and 2 win for Washington. Iris Dahl wins the 800-meter. Kendall Hendrickson follows right behind in second. Also Mount Pleasant in both of those last two, as mentioned, the 400 and 800 had a winner with Alexis Wagner taking third in the 800. And then Jenna Schwartz taking third and Natalie Freeman fourth for Mount Pleasant there as well. In the 100 or the 300 or 3,000 meter run, we had Iris Dahl getting another win. She gets first there. In the 1,500 meter run, Washington wins again. Emma Horak takes that one. And in the 100 meter hurdles, Leighton Messenger walks away with the win. The top run there. Let's get down here. In the 400 meter hurdles, Mount Pleasant goes 1 and 2. Lindsay Striegel is first in that, and then Abigail Shelengowski gets second. In the 4x100 meter relay, Mount Pleasant wins. Kaya Sanders, Alex Scott, Taylor Williamson, and Kinley White take the top spot. Washington's team finished second there. In the 4x2, Mount Pleasant gets another relay win. Izzy Sloat, Kinley White, Sanders again, and Scott once again finished first. Washington second as well for their group there. And then the 4x400, Washington gets the win in this relay. Jaslyn Villa, Layla Green, Kendall Hendrickson, and Iris Stahl finish in the top spot. Washington second. We're seeing a little correlation here with them trading wins here. In the 4x800 relay, let's see. 4x800, Mount Pleasant takes the win. Monroe James, Bella Dodds, Quintry Lee, and Alexis Wagner win. Washington second once again. In the sprint medley, Mount Pleasant gets the win. Ellie Freeman, Kaya Sanders, Alex Scott, Kinley White. Who do you think got second? Washington gets second again.
That's what I was going to guess.
In the distance medley, we have a different winner. West Burlington takes the win. Mount Pleasant finishes third, Washington fourth there. So running down into the 4x100 meter shuttle hurdle, Mount Pleasant with the win. Jaden Yoder, Meadow Carter, Taylor Williamson, and Shelengowski take the top spot there. In the getting into the field events, Class A high jump, Leighton Messenger gets the win, clears 4:10 for that victory. In the long jump, Washington, Jaslyn Villa takes first, Mount Pleasant's Lindsay Stringle second. In shot put, Mount Pleasant goes 1, 2, and 3. Ella Ensminger, Ave English, and Savannah Soblodnik go 1, 2, and 3 there. Go over here in the discus. Taylor Mishk gets the victory for Washington. And then in the, I guess that's actually it for Class A. Getting down into Class B, let's look who the winners are here. In Class B, in the 200-meter dash, Kinley Buffington, freshman, Winfield Matt Union, wins by just under 2 seconds in the 200-meter dash. So familiar name, getting a familiar win in an event that we've seen maybe her brother perform pretty well in. Let's see here. She also got second in the 400 meter. In the 800 meter, Carly Lunsford takes the win for Waco in the Class B event there. Run through here. In the 3,000 meter, Brinley Phillips of Pekin gets the win by over just under 4 minutes. So pretty dominant performance there. In the 100-meter hurdles, Josie Nelson, Winfield Mount Union, gets the win by just under 2 seconds. Keep going through here. In the 400-meter hurdles, Josie Dykstra, freshman of Waco, gets the win. Obviously, we've seen her. We knew she was going to be good when she was at Mount Pleasant. Her and her brother are now at Waco, and obviously still performing well. Brinley Phillips of Pekin takes second in that event, and Dykstra gets a pretty dominant win too. She wins that by just under 10 seconds there. In the 4x100, Mediapolis takes the win. The 4x2, Mediapolis. Looks like Mediapolis has quite the relay groups here. They pretty much clear basically every relay except the Waco distance medley of Natalie Wagler, Bren Graber, Josie Dykstra, and Carly Lunsford take first in the distance medley. And then jumping up to the 4x100 meter shuttle hurdle, Pekin, Reese Brisby, Paisley Coleman, Carly Gamble, and Casey Miller take the win there. Waco finishes second with Drew Graber, Josie Dykstra, Courtney Waterhouse, and Madeline Farmer. And then going through the field events real quick, for some reason, high jump says number 2 is the first. I don't know if you're looking.
Oh, is it cut off? Is the sometimes in that sheet? Are you looking at the very top? Yeah, it might be cut off. I'll see if.
It's not the very. It's not the very top. It's actually in the. It's actually in the middle. But that's why I was kind of confused about it. Anyway, it says Bren Graber gets second for Waco, clearing 4:10. So I don't know if they just accidentally. Right. It should be a 1 or what.
Oh, I think I got it. Those are the high jump. For some reason, looks like they have scored them with A and B together. So Bren Graber technically got first in the Class B.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. They must.
So she would have got first in Class B, basically.
Yep.
Okay. And then long jump, Kinley Buffington with another victory for Winfield Mount Union. She gets first there in long jump, and then shot put. Familiar name we're going to see in the winter in shot put and discus. Anna Hadley of Pekin by over 10 feet gets the victory there in shot put, and then in discus, Hadley. Obviously state champion in the discus, 136.07 feet for her there. So no one else cleared 100 feet in that. So big throw for her to start the season, and obviously she'll be one of the favorites in Class 1A to get back into the top. Looking to be a state champion once again in that event. So.
I've got some boys results for you just on varsity bound. So it seems like everyone's got their stuff in, which means that it looks right on varsity bound. But I'm just going to say what varsity bound says here because and boys Class A, nothing in the sprints. Keokuk and Fort Madison really dominated the sprints. This is from Monday, but 1600 Washington's Tyler Alderton and Sawyer Shantz first and second. The sprint medley relay Washington first, Mount Pleasant second in that one. The distance medley, neither of our teams were first or second. 110 meter hurdles, and neither of our teams are first or second. This is Class A, by the way. 400 hurdles, Mount Pleasant's Jack Newman picks up a championship there. Shuttle hurdle, Mount Pleasant. Oh, that's a nice time. 104.88 for the Mount Pleasant boys. Panthers used to dominate the shuttle hurdle. 3,200 meter run. Sawyer Shantz, after just barely losing in the 16, or actually before, because 32 happens first. But Sawyer gets first here. Silas Hewlett of Mount Pleasant is second. In the long jump, Avon Trong with a 23.0125. Very nice jump for Avon there to win it. High jump, that's Mount Pleasant's Avon Trong, by the way. High jump, tying for first place was Caden Schott of Mount Pleasant, a freshman. So Mount Pleasant's getting supped in these distance and technical events. Shot put, Grayson Hartman of Washington, 55.05.75. I got word that was past the blue standard, so he is already qualified for Drake. I'm going to guess that Trong's jump, by the way, and a lot of yours from Tuesday for the girls also hit the blue standard.
Yep.
And then in discus, Grayson Hartman again with a win in the discus. So I'm going to just jump over to Class B because I got it pulled up. 100 dash, New London's London Franklin. The London of New London wins the 100-meter dash for the Tigers. No winners on the 4x1. New London. It might be a big year for the New London Sprinters, but they won the 4x1 relay. And the 400-meter dash, Colby Newsom comes out with a win for Winfield Mount Union. And nothing 4x2 in the 800. Colby Newsom comes out with a win for Winfield Mount Union. Your video did not just repeat. That just happened in two different events. Going through the relays. Look at the speed. You should see the work I'm doing right now on the sticks, on the buttons here to get everything going. The sprint medley. And I got some inside information that the medley relays for the Winfield Mount Union Wolves are going to be pretty strong. They're missing guy or two at Washington, but I talked to a couple and they said they're going to have some good medleys this year. Winfield Mount Union wins the sprint medley, which are they just calling it the 800 and 1600 meter medley now? I don't see anybody say sprint or distance anymore.
I don't know. I always just so used to saying it like that I always say it like that. But
I'm going to keep saying it until I get arrested. Because they I don't like that it's called that because then you're confusing them with the events that aren't. Anyway. I'll have more time. We'll have plenty of complaining time when we talk about college basketball and C-Block. In the 4x1 shuttle hurdle, it was a showdown between a couple of neighborly rivals, Winfield Mount Union and Mediapolis, and Winfield Mount Union wins the shuttle hurdle in Class B. Only two teams competed in that one. How about the long jump? Haven't heard this name for maybe a minute and 10 seconds. New London's London Franklin takes first place in the long jump. Logan Franklin fourth in there, so we're getting a little double trouble for a New London in some of these events. And going down here, how about the shot put? Where Cooper Buffington, another shot put championship announced here on Southeast Iowa Union Prep Sports Plus because he won at Washington as well. And in the discus, it was a battle to the end as Cooper Buffington edges out Cale Wilka. Winfield Mount Union's Cooper Buffington, 121 feet. New London's Cale Wilka, 120-10. So it was a
closed.
Yep, just by however much -9 is. So there's your winners from the boys. Hunter Moeller will have an exclusive story, but it's not exclusive because everybody else is reporting it too. On exclusive to our winners though.
Yep.
On that in the newspaper on Thursday. And that's it for track for right now in spring sports. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to tell you who is still eligible to be our bracket champions of the world. Stick with us.
Attention Hy-Vee shoppers, introducing Hy-Vee Perks, your ticket to exclusive savings and rewards. Access exclusive perks, prices, earn gas discounts, and unlock special deals. All this for free. Join Hy-Vee Perks today and start saving.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Bring the kids, share the memories, celebrate 75 years of traditions at the Midwest Old Threshers Reunion. Relive the magic of steam engines, antique cars, and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Whether it's your first visit or a cherished tradition, you'll enjoy the delicious foods, the thrill of an Old West shootout, and the excitement of nightly grandstand entertainment. For 75 years, this has been the place where memories are made at the 2025 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion, August 28th through September 1st in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Visit oldthreshers.com for more details.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Hello. Welcome to Southeast Iowa Union Prep Sports Plus. I just hit my computer there. It's April 3rd, 2025. You're watching this live. And we're here, powered by Fairway, for the C Block. We've talked about high school sports. Hunter, what are we going to talk about next?
Well, the basketball season is down to just 4 teams. Just 4 teams remain on the girls' and boys' side, which means it's kind of sad. I mean, week before, we basically got basketball every single day for a whole week.
Two weekends.
And now we have to wait till Friday and Saturday, and then we're gonna have to wait even longer, and then we say goodbye to March Madness. I mean, it's April now, but still feels like March, But it's slowly not feeling like March.
That dark time when we're in between March Madness and football season. But at least we still have the NBA playoffs. So I tried to be a Stu Feiner that he used to be at. Anyway. The bracket challenge, which we're down to a few people who can still be either the person of the year, if you win the men's challenge, or the champion of the year for the women's. We're going to go men's first. I'm going to read you the top 3 first. Or unless you want to read. Do you have the standings up, Hunter?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you read women's? I'll read the men's.
Okay.
In third place, with his champion, the Florida Gators, still somehow in it after scare after scare after scare. It's Hunter Moeller with 890 points. In second place, representing Cal Radio with Houston as his winner, it's Slayton Swords with 900. And in first place, representing Washington High School and Washington boys basketball and boys golf with a astounding 1,050 points. 92.7 percentile, the only person in our entire challenge to be above 75. It's Colin Stark, our defending champion. Watch out. He's either the defending champion of the men's or the women's. I'm pretty sure he's the men's defending champion. He's got Duke. And I'm going to go ahead and click on my little group forecast. And I'm going to tell you who mathematically can still win this challenge and become person of the year. I can tell you who can't, me. I can tell you someone who else who can't, Peter. But Hunter, 13.3% chance of winning. He's got Florida. Jameson Rich sneaking back there with 860 points. They give him a 24.4% chance to win with the Auburn Tigers. Our Houston representative is Slayton Swords. And Colin Stark at the top there with Duke. Slayton's got a 28% chance to win. Colin's got a 34% chance to win. So it is down to our final 4 in the men's bracket challenge. And we're going to have a champion. We're going to have somebody who picked a champion because there were no upsets. Hunter?
Yes, sir.
Somehow I think the women's tournament actually had more unpredictability somehow. But
for sure.
Still some predictability. Why don't you let us know Who's in the lead in our women's bracket challenge?
This is kind of crazy here, actually. So we've got Dr. Taz, old T Zattel, in first place. He has, well, actually, it's a tie for first. I can't disrespect Mr. Colin Stark. But T Zattel is sitting at the very top when you're looking at the list. He's got UCLA winning it all. And second, well, it's still in first, tied for first, is Colin Stark. If Coach Colin Stark, gets the sweep, this is just...
He was just our all-union big school boys coach of the year, too. This would be the triple crown.
This guy knows ball. But he's got South Carolina winning it all. So either one of those teams win. There's no one else that has picked the same team that's can make the jump really at this point with how the scoring works. But in third place, very much alive, someone Andy knows very well. Sarah Kretzinger has UConn winning it all. So she's in third. And she can definitely win she will win actually if UConn gets it done. Looking at the next places, in fourth is Zattel second, Dr. Taz's second bracket. He had USC winning. Andy's in fifth with UCLA, but he can mathematically not get it done because Zattel has UCLA winning up in first. I'm in sixth with USC, had USC winning. Peter has South Carolina winning, but won't be able to do it with Stark having South Carolina in the win. And this is where it gets interesting. Sitting down in eighth place is
Cinderella.
My wife, Samantha Holtkamp. She has it labeled Samantha Holtkamp. I guess she's my wife, so she's Samantha Moller.
Oh, yeah. What the heck?
But, she has Texas winning it. Now, she's at 910 points. And how much do you get for winning?
Like 320.
So she can win if Texas
She
gets
will
the
win
championship and wins it all, which is
it's funny that she forecast.
It's so funny because I was looking at the I'm just like looking at the list and like you see X's next to like mine and Zattel's name, and then you look down and you see Samantha's got Texas, and you're like, how is she so far down with Texas?
She still has a shot. Actually, gives her 24.4% chance, better than my wife, 21.8,
which is crazy.
Math has Dr. Taz as the favorite, 27.8%. Colin Clark, 25.9. I'm pretty sure that just is what seed is left, and Dr. Taz has the top seed left.
Yeah, I forgot about the forecast there. I forgot that you can do that. It's kind of cool that they do that.
Hunter, I want you to jabber about the tournament really quick. I'm gonna go plug my computer. I just saw I'm at 11%. So why don't you tell me your surprises? You know what? I need a question for you. Do you think that this is a blip in the radar, or do you think that NIL has just ruined college basketball to where there's just no upsets anymore?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm at 9%, so I'm right with you. But I don't know. Peter, you can jump in here too if you want. I'll say what I said last week about NIL. I feel like, I get like makes it easier for the players, and I'm not in that situation, so it's kind of weird for me to speak on it. But in my humble opinion, I think the way the NIL, I guess who NIL affects the most is going to be the Cinderella runs, or I said this kind of last week, the mid-major programs that usually, kind of make deep runs. Now their best players can be pretty much poached by larger programs. A Duke, says, hey, we've got some cash. You want to come play for us? I feel like that's going to happen a lot more now, which... In my opinion, we're going to see. It's going to be a lot tougher to make a Cinderella run, and technically, I guess this year you could say Arkansas was the Cinderella run because they were a 10th seed. But I don't know, with John Calipari at the helm, and it's like I don't, if it's a coach that's been successful before, there ain't no Cinderella run. Come on, Like you
Those
gotta
are
be
all 5-star guys.
you gotta be I don't know, like you and I gets in the tournament. It's like, no, that's a Cinderella run.
Yeah, that's a Cinderella.
I think NIL
Drake, that's
makes it.
Cinderella. You know what though, Hunter?
I said basically the same thing I said last week, where I think NIL just affects the mid majors the most because they can get their players kind of poached by bigger programs.
I think NIL makes it tougher for mid majors to sustain success. But remember, 2 years ago, we saw San Diego State and Florida Atlantic in the Final Four, which are two pretty solid, not like complete Cinderella runs, but definitely two teams that not a lot of people had. And yes, most of those players, like Florida Atlantic's best players now playing at Michigan. So a lot of those good players are going to be gone. But I don't think it's the end of Cinderellas. I think what makes a Cinderella interesting is that it's good players that not a lot of big schools think about are good until after the tournament or until the run is done. So unless teams can find a better way of forecasting what mid-majors can go on a tournament run, then I don't really think NIL plays that much of a big deal in terms of a one-season run.
I agree with that. And I also would say that you could make an argument that might there could be recruits. My computer's about to die. What? Someone poached. Speaking of poaching, someone poached Hunter's computer charger, which I steal. So 6%. But let me leave you with this, everyone, because Hunter's already timed out. Somebody needs to remind me next year. I'm just going to pick all upsets because I think that everyone. Oh, there's Hunter. I think that everyone
9% instantly dead.
I don't know. Mine's at 6%. I got 8 minutes remaining. This is March Madness right here. Next year, I think that everyone's going to pick even more chalk next year because of this year. But you're right, Peter. And there were also 15s and 16s winning. Next year, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to pick my Final Four is going to be like a 5, a 4, a 7, and a 6 because I think that chaos only hides in the bushes for a little bit. I think it's time. Or maybe chaos is just going to happen in the NBA and I'm going to win a bunch of money because I just bet on the Bulls to win the NBA Finals. Maybe that's where March Madness is hiding. You got to find your own madness. If it's not going to be mad in March, you got to find your own madness, You got to drive up to the KFC window and say, I'll buy 3 random items, throw anything in the bag, and I'll pay whatever. That's
like
the
that.
real madness. That's right. Find yours.
That is madness, actually.
There was some March Madness last night on Southeast Iowa Live. Uh-oh. 8 minutes left. Anyway, so we're going to see who's the champion. We'll do a little wrap-up next week. And we got a lot of spring sports to go.
Yes, we do. Just the beginning.
So for Hunter Moeller, Peter Camp, for the UCLA, UConn,
Texas,
South Carolina, and Texas women, for the Duke, Houston, Florida, and Auburn men, for everyone all around the world. I'm Andy Kretzinger. This was Prep Sports Plus.
And I'm Hunter Moeller. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.